That's it, Brian?
What's up, everybody? Back here at the BuildBros shop today again. Today we are polish up this turd back here. It's my 3 years reigning champ winter beater with stretched freaking winter tires on ESM Compomotive reps. It's been quite the bomb-proof car, so I'm gonna give it one last little facelift and a little bit of love and see if I can make it one more month before I put this Corrado back on the road right here. So we're gonna, number one, we're gonna plasti dip the wheels again, because plasti dip always falls off in the winter, I find. And then whatever we got left, we just spray it on the car and get rid of that shit, because it goes bad, I think, or something. And then I cracked my lip off because this thing's actually pretty low, so I cracked my Chinese VR6 lip off of it in the winter, so I got a Mark II lip kicking around in here somewhere. I'm gonna try and use a heat gun and shape it into something worthwhile and zip tie it on there. So that's what we got going on today. Stay tuned, or else I'll cut your car up and make it look like this. That is a Honda Civic EG hatch, by the way. Fucking piece of shit. So everybody knows the best way to actually paint wheels is to jack your car up, get your plasti dip, put it in gear, and then the wheel will start turning, and you get that way you get a nice even coat. So check it out. Just like that. That way it's a good way to save your plasti dip, and that way you have more for the rust spots in your car and more scene points. So on to the next tip. I don't know why, but this car for some reason smells like a snowmobile, but check it out, it actually sounds pretty fucking dope. Yeah, I know it sounds a little ricey, but just because it's inside, it sounds a little shitty, but she's actually a pretty nice little fucking girl. I'll give her some love, you know. You love your car and they will love you back. These old German girls have souls inside them. Next tip is, plasti dip isn't just for only rims. You can actually touch up your rust spots with this stuff too. It's quite handy. So you just take your can, find a nice rust spot, just like that, and just that way you get a little bit more life out of your car and more scene points, because less rust, right? That makes you cooler. All right, so all the body touch-ups are done. I got all the rust all concealed and covered up. So all right, so it's time to cut off the front lip. Grab your tin snips. They can cut through metal. They can cut through tin, or time to grab your tin snips, because if it can cut through metal, it can cut through a zip tie. And cut your old front lip off. Look at that. This thing just got destroyed. So I'm gonna cut that off, and then we're gonna take this Mark II front lip, which would belong on one of these guys right here. That's a Mark II. Mark II, Mark III, Mark I, Mark I. So yeah, I'm gonna cut that off, and then we're gonna zip tie this thing on and see what it looks like. Well, all right, look at that. About 5 or 10 minutes later, and a few holes and a few zip ties, we got ourselves a nice new lip. And I think these OEM lips can take a lot more abuse because they're more of like a rubbery substance than plasticky substance, so you can smash a lot of curves with that thing and it won't break off. So we'll have to put it to the test later on. So on to the next thing is probably the thing you're probably gonna think I'm fucking around with you the most, but this is actually probably the most important tune-up bit you could learn from this video. So now, I don't recommend this tune-up for everybody. This is a sort of an early model sort of tune-up. Give your inside of your engine a refresh, and it's sort of unusual, to be honest, but it actually does work. Take your screwdriver and undo your intake clamp right here after your mass airflow sensor. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a little crack in there. And then, trust me, I learned this from a old German. It's ancient Chinese secret. And I shit you not, it's actually saved my ass a few times. So, just undo this clamp enough and crack this sucker open, give it a little bit of mustard in there. And then I'm gonna start the car and I'm gonna spray water in the intake until it just about stalls out, and you just keep spraying it in, and I'll show you kind of what quantities you want to do. One sec. So now you take your water bottle, whatever you have with the spray bottle, and you turn it on the mist setting so it comes out like this. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to steam clean the inside of your engine. So it cleans up the carbon off your spark plugs, frees up your piston rings, and in some cases it'll give you more compression and a little bit more power out of your old girls. So you don't want to do too much, and I usually do this about once every 6 months to my cars. Here's basically what I did. Is you open up a little crack after the mass airflow, and then use the mist setting. You're just gonna keep spraying that in there for about 30 seconds or so. Usually I would rev this up to about 1500 to 2000 RPM, but I'm here alone today. So basically the science behind that little trick is steam cleaning the inside of your engine. So if you take apart an engine that has a blown head gasket, you can always tell which cylinder had it the worst, because it's actually the cleanest cylinder, because it's getting constantly steam cleaned inside, and the vaporized H2O just blasts away all the carbon. So it's a good way to clean up dirty spark plugs and free up piston rings, and sometimes get a little bit more life out of your old girl. Now, I wouldn't really recommend it for new cars, like I said, but it is a good trick for older cars, like probably I would say 2000 and earlier. You can do it on newer cars. One time I had a buddy with a Mark IV Golf, and he was stranded, and we tried everything. I had some stupid check engine light for intake air pressure or something stupid like that, and I was like, I got one more trick. So I grabbed a bottle of water, poured it in my mouth, and I told him to go in the car and rev it up. I was like, this might or might not work. Let's give it a shot and see what it does. So sure enough, he's cranking it, and I'm blowing the water in the intake, and he's like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, boom, starts. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And I was like, well, I was blowing water in it, dude. And in that scenario, it actually worked, and the car actually continued to work for another 3 months. And then I came back and did it again. In that scenario, what I think happened was the sensor was actually buggered up, and the vaporized water actually somehow cleaned it off. So it's a good little trick for old cars and ancient Chinese secret. So keep that one on the back burner in case you're stranded one day and you need that one last resort, and may or may not work. Yeah, other than that, I think I'm gonna give this thing a little detail inside, and then I'm gonna go to the gym.